Trip. Oh, right here, man. You're just learning everything tonight.
I know.
My name is Sean. What's yours?
Take notes next time.
What's your name?
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
All right. I think we're ready. Do I'm not doing timers though, right?
2 and 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing it. Okay. And then you know how to use that. Yeah. Trained professionals. All right. I'm gonna step away while I'm still working. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We're very appreciative. You just press and hold that button in for a moment.
Oh wait, is this a camera or the? Is this showing? I don't think this is on though.
Huh?
This is not on.
It
Is that the power
was.
button?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was on. Let's let it wake up again.
And I think I need to connect my thing to it. Yeah, it's already done. Okay. So.
Yeah. Should be good. And click on the little up arrow next to the microphone settings just to make sure. No, next to the microphone. Let's just look at this one more time. Okay, cool. All right, it should be working, man.
I think the batteries.
I think so too.
Okay. 7:10. 7:10 on the dot.
Ready? Yeah. Ready for your check?
Okay. Yeah. What's that? I mean, he was saying. No. Okay. Go to the next slide. Thank you so much. I think we're good to go now. You ready? All right.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah. Recording?
We're recording.
Oh, should we do that?
We've been recording.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
You ready?
All right. We're going to call this meeting order at 7:11. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know how to use technology. Thank you, Sean, so much for your help. Yeah. All right. If you want to go ahead and register for open forum, I suggest you do that now. I'll give you a second for anyone that might want to take a photo and get registered. All right, then we can go to the next slide. Representative Tristan, if you want to do the land acknowledgement.
We would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on indigenous land. Moreover, we would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to the Kagiso, Komikudo, Koalantikan, Cabo, Kukawa, Comanche, Manapache, Alabama, Shara, Ikapu, Tico, and all the American Indian and indigenous peoples and communities who have been or have become a part of these lands and territories in Texas here on Turtle Island.
All right. All right, quote of the week. The quote is: the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new, by Socrates. Maybe you can take something out of that. Yeah, we're coming back to it. Yeah, so the people on Zoom, we're going to go back to it here shortly. All right. If all the representatives can fill that out for our first roll call. Oh, y'all can see the minutes. Leland, do you want to share your screen directly?
Yeah. No, I am sharing screen, but you're the one who's hooked up to this.
Okay, I can't access it.
Huh?
Okay, because I need to see the open forum.
Can you not read it on your phone? Do you not have access to it on your phone?
I can't. It's a form. It's a form.
You can look up forms on your phone.
Okay.
You just go to the forum, but like on anything, because the thing is, you have access, you have access to the forum, right? So if you just pull it up, then you can just go in on it.
I don't have.
Me.
I got it. Or just Tom. Okay. Adrian, we're good? All right, we have a quorum. We'll proceed. Next slide. All right, the speaker will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. If anyone wants to make a motion to do that. Representative Whittington,
Motion to approve the minutes by unanimous consent.
any seconds? Any objections? So ordered. Next. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I remember. Okay, so discussion guidelines. Just remember that as we're doing open forum, just to maintain respect, don't speak over others, ask to the point questions. Please be to the point with your questions. This makes it really easier. It makes it easy for those who are doing our minutes because they have to like listen to everything. So please be succinct. Maintain productiveness and be inclusive. Just be, overall respectful to everyone. Next slide. Some rules to know for open forum. It cannot exceed 20 minutes. So it's up to 5 people, and there'll be 5-minute period of Q&A with 2 minutes to talk. All right, there's a link to register for open forum if anyone wants to register. All right. What happens on that one? Okay, you're right. Yeah, we're good. Okay. The first person for open forum is Representative Bailey. Yeah, 2 minutes.
Hello, okay. Awesome. So I just wanted to say a few words about something that happened in the last assembly meeting. There was a lot of tension and a little bit of disrespect when people were presenting some opinions on AR02. Just as far as that goes, I wanted to share my thoughts about different perspectives. I don't agree with everything that was said. I'm talking about Representative Mosley's comments on Plan B. I don't agree with everything that was said, but students hold that opinion. So regardless of whether you have that opinion or not, that is an opinion of our student body, and we need to respect that, especially when presenting legislation like that. So in addition to that, just kind of making sure we're following those guidelines that we just talked about, respect, asking meaningful questions, because when people are sharing an opinion, especially because he came with sources, he's very professional, we should have been respectful, and that did not happen. In addition to that, kind of the comment I have as far as what was said, I wanted to share my support of AR02. The FDA does say that Plan B does not cause abortion. The exact wording is, if a fertilized egg is implanted prior to taking Plan B will not work. So that's kind of the code on that. Yeah, vote yes on AR02 and be respectful. There we go.
All right. We'll now go into Q&A. Are there any questions for the representative? Seeing none, the speaker claims remainder of the time. Thank you so much. All right, next one. Okay. Next speaker is Representative Mosley. Okay, are you ready?
Awesome. Hey, everyone. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. I definitely appreciate that sentiment. That's something that I would expect from all members. I'm going to be respectful to you all. You all, sort of share that as well. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to reemphasize from what I said last week and why I don't think that we should support AR02. Just really quick, I want to hit the main bullet points. According to the FDA, Plan B is considered a group 1 carcinogen, the same cancer risk as cigarettes. The chemical that makes up Plan B can increase the risk of breast cancer by 44%. It can increase the chance of irregular menstruation by 67%, increase the risk of ovarian cysts by 31.2%, and a 13.6% increased risk of infection. Additionally, the use of Plan B triples the risk of ectopic pregnancy, which is a life-threatening condition. And also, according to a 2003 study, it found that over 20% of respondents did not understand the potential risks and symptoms of Plan B, despite reading the box and reading the symptoms listed there. So I think that's important to consider. And lastly, just generally, I don't think that the university should be handing out potentially dangerous drugs classified as a group 1 carcinogen. Yeah, that's sort of what I have to say on that. And I think it's really good to see you all again this week. I know for me, the heat today was terrible. I went and got a haircut, it was so bad. Yeah, I haven't taken any questions.
All right. Are there any questions for the representative Jadot? 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Virginia, Fine Arts. So if someone finds themselves in a situation that they were planning to use the Plan B, if the vending machine isn't there, what is your suggested alternative?
Well, if someone wanted to go buy Plan B themselves, then they could do that. My main objection is not necessarily the use of Plan B. I mean, that's everyone's personal choice, right? But my main objection is the university handing out, a drug that has such potential dangerous side effects to it and risks. And as a group 1 carcinogen, I don't think that's something the university should do.
Representative Plaza.
Representative Pajasso, Liberal Arts. So if there were a sign next to the vending machine that has all the risks that you just mentioned, would you still be opposed to the bill? Or would you vote in favor of the bill if people do the risk rehabilitation by taking the contraception?
Good question. That is definitely because I do have a feeling that most likely this will pass. I will most likely vote against this. One, to my principles, but also to what I laid out. But if it does pass, that is definitely something I want to see, because I want to make sure that people understand the risks and what could potentially come from taking part.
Representative Weiss.
Representative Weiss, Communications. So I am obviously new here, I'm a freshman, but to the best of my understanding, UT used to have like a school pharmacy that was shut down. Other school pharmacies provide discounts on Plan B. So my older sister went to OU, boo suckers. But I am pretty sure that Plan B there costs like $20-30, which is obviously not the same as a vending machine with the price of $7 to my understanding, but other schools are handing out Plan B, so to speak. And if we did have a pharmacy in the past, I would assume that we have already done this. That was not a question. What do you think of that? Sorry.
Well, I didn't. I don't know much about the pharmacy in the past, or if we have one, I don't really know. And I don't know if they did hand out Plan B. I mean, that's something we could definitely look up. But I guess that wouldn't take away my opposition, because probably there'd be a middleman involved, there'd be a pharmacist who could explain the risks, explain potential side effects, that type of thing. With a vending machine, there's no middleman.
Okay. Any further questions? Representative Greenwald.
Yes, quick question. So I just looked at that list, which also includes alcoholic beverages and the eating processed meat. Are those things also things that you would want to ban on campus? for health reasons or? just this
I'm gonna ask that you restate that. That does seem a little pointed.
I apologize. Many of the items on the list appear to be things that we may consume on a regular basis. It appears that some of those things on the list are chemicals, some of them are medications, some of them are food items or beverages. Do you think that it's important that we try to remove all of the things on this list, or is there a specific reason that you're referring to just this one drug?
This is the group 1 percentage.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the university doesn't promote alcohol use. The university does, even in the dining halls, the university doesn't, advertise an overconsumption of red meat. They process them. And so, yeah, I don't think the university should promote group 1 carcinogens like alcohol, like, like processed meat, right? Because ultimately, the health and well-being of students should be first.
Seeing as we only have 15 seconds left, does someone want to make a motion to extend because Representative Weiss has a question? Okay, any objections? 5 minutes. Representative Weiss.
Representative Weiss, communications. So can you object to a question that was already said? Okay, so, regardless, sorry. Plan B is not supposed to be consumed regularly or ingested regularly. And I think that what Representative Mosley, Skinner, I'm not sure, sorry what her name is, but is trying to stress that Plan B is not, he's not trying to encourage the over consumption of it, like.
Are you asking a point of information? Or are you? Can you phrase your statement in a question?
Sure. Representative, can somebody please tell me his name? Mosley, Representative Mosley, would you, I suppose, be okay with a Plan B vending machine if all the information such as how many times a year you can take it and the risks would be included?
I think that's a really good point, because definitely the amount of times that you use Plan B, you use it multiple times a year, that's going to drastically increase the risk of the potential side effects. Now, I don't think I would support a vending machine, even if there was a sign, just because, I think that does sort of invite the use of Plan B more frequently. And which would increase side effects. But if this does pass, which I'm most likely expecting it to, unless I'm somehow very convincing. If this does pass, that is definitely another thing I would want signs around this vending machine, letting people know about the symptoms, letting people know about side effects, so that they're informed, because, when the big list of side effects that you get in the box, that's not very, people aren't going to read through that.
Any other questions?
There's one online.
Representatives?
Only representatives can ask questions, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry, only representatives are allowed to ask questions. Representative Balakrishna?
On business. I wanted to get some clarification on some of the stats that you put out, because just to elaborate on what I need clarification on before I do that. I do want to point out that Plan B is composed of the same drug that is found in birth control. And in my own personal experience, the university does prescribe birth control. They have done it so for me. But it's a higher dose of the same drug that is found in birth control. And so Plan B is not meant to be taken that often. And even birth control does increase, it results in a slight 7% increase in breast cancer. And in terms of cervical cancer, there is a 10% increased risk for less than 5 years of use. But actually it decreases the risk of endometrial and ovarian cancer and colorectal cancer. So I just wanted to point that out, but were you aware of those facts that, it's the same drug as birth control, which is a very common drug that many women take, and the university has prescribed for multiple women, and it actually lowers the risks of 3 prominent forms of cancer.
Yeah, I actually was aware of that. And yeah, the Plan B is a much higher concentration of the same chemical used in birth control, much higher. And I will note that, birth control is great, but of course it comes with side
Do you have a
effects.
number on how much higher it is?
I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, I can get the details. But we're not here to debate birth control, we're here to debate Plan B. And so my sort of general stance on that wouldn't change. I think that we've already had a discussion on birth control with, like decades past at this point. And the university cancels that out. And from my perspective, it's a pretty good thing. But it does have side effects, and Plan B has side effects, but much worse because the same chemical that is used in birth control is at such a high concentration. And not to mention ectopic pregnancy, which is a life-threatening condition, can lead to infertility as well, increases threefold with Plan B. That's not the case with birth control.
What are your sources for those facts?
Are you asking a follow-up question?
Yes, I have a follow-up question. What are your sources for those facts? First of all, you said much higher risk of, what was it that you said just now? Ectopic pregnancy, right? What's your source for that?
I've mainly pulled my sources from the FDA, from Planned Parenthood, from students.
But you don't have a specific source.
Sorry,
I can
let's
pull it
let
up
me
on my
answer the
phone.
question.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
So the specific source.
There's a second fill.
2003, the United Kingdom's Department of Health found this possible complication by observing the effects of Plan B after it was sold. In a group of 201 emergency contraceptive failures, they found 12 ectopic pregnancies, or a 6% rate. This has tripled the current ectopic pregnancy rate in the United Kingdom and the United States, which is approximately 2%.
The time is expired for Q&A. Is there any motion to extend?
Representative Tristan, I motion to extend the question and answer period for 3 minutes by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? There's an objection. Wait, slow down.
I'll just start it and then
Yeah.
make a motion to it.
Representative Tristan.
Representative Tristan, I make a motion to extend the question and answer period by 3 minutes by a hand vote.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Can I say a clarification first?
Go ahead.
All of this conversation can happen during the debate, we're just gonna repeat ourselves later, so why do we need to set?
Okay. We're going to proceed with the motion. All those in favor of extending 3 minutes, raise your hand. Okay. All those wanting to close Q&A, are all those against, raise your hand. Okay, no time. All right, we'll move on. Next speaker. Okay, our next speaker is Daraj Sada. If they're here.
They're on Zoom, I think.
On Zoom.
You can call them unmute.
Yeah, if you can unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh-oh.
Hi there, I'm also on here.
Hold on 1 second.
Like right, just like this. Same, the same system.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's coming through.
Hey, Mr. Sada, can you say something in here?
Hello, yes.
Okay, you're here to speak for Open Forum, right?
Yes, Shruti and I are here to talk about Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Great. So my partner Dhruv and I are here to seek the approval from the Assembly about becoming the new co-directors for Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency. And LEA from the inception was really charged with the mission of connecting industry leaders with student entrepreneurs. And we do that through a variety of ways, such as putting on workshops or speaker series or fireside chats. And we weren't able to do that last semester because of our leadership team kind of had too much on their plate, and that's why we're seeking this transition. However, every spring we do put on an event called Entrepreneurship Week, which is what we're planning for right now. It'll take place the week of April 18th, and we're excited about all the different events we're going to have. We're bringing in speakers from across many verticals and very excited to bring in curious minds to really provoke inspiration and conversations that matter. So in order to move forward with plans with our vendors and also ordering all sorts of promotional items and materials to make sure that we have a successful event, it would really be appreciated if Drew and I would be approved for the new positions within LEA. Happy to answer any questions if you have it, but really want to thank you all for the time and consideration.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for the two appointees tonight? Representative Feinstein. Fine. Can you talk to the microphone because they can't hear you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Representative Feinstein.
Oh, one second. We have a point of information. I mean, arguably, yes.
I was just curious if you're the only people running for this.
Yes, my partner Drew and I are the only ones for this position.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, the speaker claims range of time. Thank you so much. Any other speakers? Next speaker is Rep. Whittington.
I'll make this quick. Hello, Representative Whittington Cola. I'm just here to plug a bunch of the events that are going on recently. Tomorrow, we have this controversy and bonus discussion of diversity, equity, inclusion related topics. And tomorrow's theme is college affordability. I really appreciated all of you who come. I really used to. One thing I'd like to promote amongst all of us this session on the server, whatever, is reaching out with more like individual council, especially all the college reps, interacting more with our different college council, because that is like who we represent. I think it's really going to work even more. Just want to tell those events for me. Great. Oh, any questions?
Any questions for the representative? Seeing none, speaker recognize random time. Thank you so much. All right. That is all the open forum speakers we have for today. So we'll go and move forward. Okay. When you're making parliamentary motions, procedures, and all that, be sure to raise your hand, unless you're making like a point of information, point of inquiry, all that stuff. Make sure that you say how you want to proceed. So unanimous consent, hand vote, roll call vote. Point of orders, point of information take priority. So if you ask a question, someone says that, I take precedence of that. And that's pretty much all that. When you're doing point of information, try to make sure that those are questions. They're not a time to just make a general statement. All right, so we'll move forward with the executive appointments. First up is, oh, next slide, yeah. Maybe they can. Next slide. Okay, so first up is, yes. So first up is Mr. Sada. If you are ready to present, you have 2 minutes. Mr. Sutter, are you here?
Hello.
Yes.
We were just the ones representing LEA that just spoke.
Yeah. So you guys have 2 minutes to speak now because this is your prescribed time. Do you want to yield your time? Are you wanting to yield your time?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, I need him to make the motion because it's his turn to speak. If he wishes to do that.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. Um,
3 minutes for.
yeah, so we'll go into motion Q&A for Representative Sada. Is there any questions, or not Representative Sada, for the appointee Sada? Are there any questions for him? Representative Collazo.
Representative Collazo, College Liberal Arts. So we were supposed to hear about this appointment last week and we were unable to because the other appointee showed up. I was just wondering why you guys were unable to attend the last session.
I think that's a great question. We weren't aware that we were supposed to attend the assembly last week, and because of that, I think there was some misunderstanding.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all right. Slide. Okay, the speaker will entertain a motion. Go ahead.
Not sure if this is the right, Representative Feinstein, UI. I'm not sure if this is the correct time to ask this question, but what does the Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency do? And what is student government's role with it?
So the Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency basically fosters entrepreneurship and supports any activity related to entrepreneurship at UT Austin. And student government's role is basically student government is the parent organization and the body behind the founding of Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency. And a big USP of Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency is putting together Entrepreneurship Week that's going to be coming up on the week of April 18th for this semester.
Any further questions? Representative Balakrishnan.
Representative Balakrishnan on business. I was told that their website and social medias haven't been updated in a while, and as an executive agency, I think that that's really important. So can I just, get something like with some confidence in the fact that you guys are going to proceed with that?
Absolutely. And I believe that goes back to what we touched on just a few moments ago. Last semester, we didn't have the proper leadership in place that was able to really keep up with the new updates and make sure all the correct content was going out to the members. But we can assure you that that will no longer be the case moving forward.
Okay, any other questions? Representative Whittington.
Representative Whittington, College Liberal Arts. I didn't talk about the leadership issues last semester. Was that just like the two clerks at the time, or was it the entirety of their leadership? Either way, what's your plan for the all official and just like being directed? What's your plan?
Would you please repeat the question? I couldn't quite hear you.
Sure. I'm just wondering what your plan is to resolve the issue that happened with last semester. I know it was just a few previous co-directors, or was it the entirety of Elliot's leadership? Either way, like, what's your plan to resolve this issue long term?
Okay, as I understand, the question was what was the issue and who was involved with the last semester's leadership. I'm referring to a single individual who had stepped up to become the director for LEA for the 21-22 school year. He had taken on a lot on his plate between his own startup and also several classes, which is why he wasn't able to give it the time and attention it needed. So now his current position is serving as a sort of advisor, but not directly involved with the club to the extent that my partner Drew and I are.
Okay, any further questions? Representative Daniel.
Hi, Representative Nicola. I was just hoping you all could walk us through your credentials and kind of just explain why exactly they're most fitting to fill this role.
hold on, I'm gonna have to interject. The time has expired. Does anyone make a motion to extend?
Motion to extend.
Representative Whittington.
Motion to extend question and answer by unanimous consent by 2 minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections or? Okay, did you get that question or do you need it for your statement?
I believe the question was, what are our qualifications to kind of move the organization forward? Is that correct?
Yes.
Sure, happy to answer that. So personally, I'm a junior finance student, also involved with a new sales minor at UT and also doing the entrepreneurship certificate. I know personally entrepreneurship is something I'm very passionate about and something I'm very interested in pursuing down the road. And I have, I'm also part of the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute on campus. So connecting different entrepreneurial hubs, especially at the heart of, Austin and this really incredible community is something that's very important to me. And I'll go ahead and let my partner share what that is for him.
So entrepreneurship has been a big part of me. I used to live in India, and when I lived in India, I started my own startup. Currently, I am doing a major in marketing and a minor in management information systems, and working on my startup and being involved at UT Austin and the marketing major has made me understand how entrepreneurship plays a big role in the community around me. And I've always wanted to give back to the community, so I believe being a part of this institute and being a director of Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency will give me the chance to give back to my community.
Are there any other questions? Representative Mosley? Actually, well, I'm gonna reclaim time because time has expired. Does anyone make another motion?
Motion to extend time by 2 minutes by unanimous.
Is there a second? Any objections? Sorry, Representative Mosley.
Rep. Mosley, UI, what do you all see as the main vision / initiative that you want to pursue as heads of this agency, and how can student representatives ensure that vision is achieved?
I didn't quite catch all of that. Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, what do you all see as the main vision or goals for the agency, and how can student representatives ensure that that vision is achieved?
Sure. So, Drew, go ahead.
I can go ahead and speak about that. So I think for our vision, we want to be able to create a community around entrepreneurship at UT Austin. We believe that entrepreneurship is super big, it's growing, and there are a lot of students who have an idea and something that they want to do with the idea, and we want to be able to aid them, provide them a platform where they can take that idea and kind of grow it and scale it through our organization. And we believe that Longhorn Entrepreneurship Agency is here to provide support to all students who are heavily involved in entrepreneurship.
All right, any other questions, Representative Weiss?
Representative Weiss, Communications. This might be kind of a dumb question, but what is the difference between an agency and a club here on campus? And with that, what is the big difference in what y'all do to aid the students in creating this entrepreneurship environment for the community?
I think one thing that LEA has always had a focus on ever since they were created back in 2012 was making sure that we were including individuals from all across campus, regardless of maybe their background or their major or wherever they came from. So making sure that they have a safe space where they can share their ideas and know that they have a really strong support network moving forward, I think was one of our key goals and continues to be.
All right, the time has expired. Is there a motion on the floor?
Representative Genichu, UI, motion to extend the Q&A period by 2 minutes by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Any objections? Hearing none, so ordered. Representative Balakrishnan.
Representative Balakrishnan, business. Mrs. Sahu, you mentioned that the problem last year was the former director, but I see in your resume that you were the co-director last year. So how do you think that you played a role in that? And also, I am a little concerned about Mr. Sata's extensive resume, and while that does give me confidence in his abilities, I think one of the problems you identified was that the former director did not have the time to devote to this organization to really grow it. So I would like to, get more confidence in y'all about that.
Great question. Would love to clarify that there. Last semester, I was the Partnership Management Committee co-chair. I was not the co-director. That's a role I've stepped into this semester, spring of 2022. And I think you raise a really good point about the individual that was leading LEA last semester. Part of it, sure, was he had a very busy schedule, but I think the most important part of that, and I think Drew would agree with me here, is about making it a priority on your list of things to get done. And that's certainly something that Drew and I have both done since stepping into the role. You're quite right. Our resumes, we are busy with other things, but as we've mentioned, this is something that's really important to us. And we know it's very important to other members of the club. So we would hate for the legacy and impact of LEA to stop with us here. We're definitely very excited and motivated to continue LEA's mission and even grow it a lot more for the community in the future.
All right, any other questions? The representative, I will, seeing as we have 10 seconds left, I'll take a motion.
Motion to extend question and answer by 3 minutes by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Any objections? Representative Pena.
Representative Pena, College of Liberal Arts. Once again, I just had a quick question for Ms. Sabu. Once again, similar, you all reiterated this idea that there was issues with the director last year, and I realized that you were co-director for this coming semester, 2022. I just want to know, on your resume, it says directed 4 committees and 16 agents to orchestrate speakers, and so on and so forth. So is that completely separate from the failures of leadership that you're referring to, or can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So I joined LEA my sophomore year, and I did enter the Partnership Management Committee, which is responsible for reaching out to key individuals across the Austin entrepreneurship community and connecting them with students. And so that's a role I continued in. And then last semester became the co-chair, as I mentioned. However, we weren't able to execute on those initial goals that we had set for ourselves as a club, as an organization, and our commitment to the students. So that is why that's something we've been very focused on making sure we can execute on the goals that we set. And this semester, a very large part of that is Entrepreneurship Week, which is just around the corner here.
All right, any other questions? Representative Balakrishnan.
Representative Balakrishnan, business. You mentioned a lot about your vision, but like what actionable ideas do you have to improve the agency?
I think first and foremost, it would definitely be Entrepreneurship Week, as that is the largest event that we put on each year. So making sure that students are very aware of the opportunities that are possible on campus. We also have what's called a Freshman Founders Program. And that's where we introduced first-year UT students to the startup ecosystem, as it is very large here in Austin. So making sure that they have a really solid footing there. So given that, we would want to really reinforce making sure that freshmen UT students are aware about LEA and this program and how they can get involved. But at a high level, just making sure that we do create that sense of community, and that comes in a number of different ways. But at the core, just making sure that students can get the support that they need to make their dreams and reality.
All right, time expired. The speakers are going to play the remainder of the time. Are there any motions on the floor? If we go back to the. Okay. Speaker will entertain a motion to confirm and appoint them. Representative Holman.
Representative UI, I move to confirm and appoint Mr. Sada and Ms. Saha to the position of LEA Director by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Hearing none, they are confirmed. Congratulations. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna step away from procedure for a second. Is it easier for you to confirm them or to swear them in one, or do you want to? So you want us to, you want to go now then?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I think she said confirm her position.
Oh, no, her position. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so,
Basically, her like role, like, so LEA co-director role.
okay, yeah, this is both of them.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna need y'all to unmute.
Oh, yeah, you need-
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Okay, they're gonna swear you in.
Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me. I've been told that I'm very loud. So probably a bad idea to mute my mic, but I appreciate it. All right, so raise your right hand. I know we can't see you with the camera off, but if you turn your camera on and unmute, that would be great. All right, and please unmute both of you. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Shruti Sahu,
I, Dhruvrat Sata,
Solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
office of LEA co-director
the responsibilities of LEA co-director
the responsibilities of the LEA co-director
of University of Texas at Austin Student Government
of University of Texas at Austin Student Government
of University of Texas at Austin Student Government
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and invest
preserve, protect, and invest
the Constitution of the Student Government.
the Constitution of the Student Government.
the Constitution of the Student Government.
All right, thank you so much for being here. We'll move forward with the next appointee. We'll now go in and move to the appointments for the transfer representative and the College of Engineering. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, sorry, Kevin. Okay, so we'll now go with the transfer representative. I will let Representative Holman, Chair Holman actually, explain a little bit of the Assembly Board's procedure with that. So I give you like a minute.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Just to give context, we're appointing a vacancy that isn't a called representative, like hearing, CNS, then it has to go through the Assembly Board, and then from there it goes to the Assembly. So Miss Maria Jackson, sorry about that. She was nominated to the Assembly Board, so we reviewed her resume, and we all agreed to move her forward to the Assembly. So we favorably recommend her approval to the Assembly.
Okay, with that being said, Maria Dazuk will have 2 minutes to just explain a bit why she is qualified for the role, and then there'll be a period of question and answer right away. Oh. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, guys. My name is Maria Duxlook. I am a third-year government major. I transferred from Ponte Vista Universidade Católica do Paraná, which is a university in Brazil that most of you guys have probably never heard of. So I just want to say that I'm really honored that I've even considered for this position. Thank you so much, guys. Getting started, my first semester here at UT, I joined a transfer interest group, also called TRIGS, where I had the opportunity to meet other transfer students who were going through the same situation as me. Later on, I had my first experience with student government by applying and getting an officer position. as chair of events for the Transfer Student Agency. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. So I plan and oversee events for transfer students. So they have an opportunity to meet other transfer students and also to welcome to the university in a different setting. Later on, I applied to be a trade mentor, so a transfer interest group mentor. And I'm being trained this spring and next fall. I'm going to have the opportunity to hold seminars weekly where new transfer students are going to have the opportunity to come in, learn resources about the university, and also meet other students like I have the opportunity to do. Well, I just wanted to say that I feel like these experiences have brought me here where I can see where how all transfer students feel, and hopefully I get the chance to represent them.
All right.
That's it. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, the speaker will claim the time. We'll now enter a period of question and answer for the appointee. Are there any questions on the floor? Representative Mosley.
Mostly UI. What are sort of the main issues that you'd like to pursue as representative? And what do you think are the main problems facing transfer students currently?
All right, so a few issues that I've heard from other transfer students before are representation. A lot of transfer students don't even know that they're represented by the student government. So definitely want to put the word out there that yes, you have someone, you have Ainsley right now representing them. That's the first thing. I've also heard a lot of things about the decisions for admissions coming in really late. That's something that a lot of students are worried. So they can find housing or even scholarships. Since they get their decisions so late, they have very little time to worry about those things and end up having a hard time going through those things. As a regular freshman has plenty of time, sometimes months, to get ready to come to the university. Another thing, more academic related, is transferring credits. Sometimes it's really hard to transfer your credits with other universities. So if we can make that process just a little bit easier, I think a lot of students will feel really good. Yeah.
All right, President Murphy.
Hi. Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. That was amazing. My question was, one of the big things Isabella and many other reps ran on was raising the minimum wage at UT, or raising the wages of campus workers, as well as just supporting student and campus employees generally. So I just wanted to ask you if you supported raising wages here to at least $50 and also any other initiatives you have to support student workers.
Yeah, as a student worker, I definitely would support that. I currently work at Texas Global and I experienced firsthand what low wages can be difficult for students. So I would definitely support that.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Representative Jadal.
Representative Yuli, Fine Arts. So with the CAP program, are you representing them as well, or are they not considered transfer students since they're offered admission years?
They are also considered transfer students. I know I have a lot of friends that are also that have participated in the CAP program. And they feel as much as a transfer student as anyone that's coming from a different state or even a different
Sorry,
country.
the time has expired. Does anyone make a motion to extend? Representative Pettigrew.
Rep. Getachie, my motion to extend will be made by 3 minutes by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Any objections? So
So I just wanted to say that, yes, I am representing even CAP students. They also, even though they know that they're coming to UT, they do have requirements at their first university that they have to meet before coming here. So they are as much transfer students as anyone else.
Okay, any further questions? All right, the speaker reclaims the remainder of the time. Will the speaker will entertain a motion to approve the appointee? Representative Gedich.
Representative Dedichu, UI, motion to confirm and approve transfer Representative Maria, Sassett by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? So ordered. Congratulations. Also, I'm just going to do a quick check here because we do have engineering representatives. The college has appointed these people to represent them. There are more engineering college of engineering representatives coming. We're still working that out. So next week we should confirm the other one. But there are two. One of them is not going to be able to take the position. Elena Tibbs has declined the offer, so we'll have to scratch off the name. But is Diego Hernandez or Rain Daniel here? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we will then, since you guys are appointed, you do not have to take a vote, but you do have 2 minutes and Q&A. So we'll go ahead and move forward with Diego Hernandez to just kind of explain the case. Whatever.
Okay, hello, good evening. My name is Diego Hernandez and I'm from Laredo, Texas. I'm currently a freshman biomedical engineering major at the Cockrell School of Engineering. Although I might be a freshman, that does not mean I'm inexperienced in any way, shape, or form. In fact, in high school, I was probably in every club you could think of, from HOSA to Big Brother, Big Sister, National Honor Society, UIL Academics, you name it, I was in it. However, a few of these clubs truly shaped me into the person I am today and have given me the ability to fulfill the role that this position requires. So I joined the student council my freshman year of high school, and through the years, I managed to procure positions. So by my junior year, I was elected the vice president by my classmates, and I was ultimately the principal's right-hand man, making decisions that affected over 3,000 students that attended my high school. So with that being said, I would also host monthly assemblies in front of the entire school to gauge the sense of awareness about the environment and the type of climate that we are harboring there at Alexander High School. And with that being said, these meetings would be in front of the 3,000 individuals in the gymnasium, some of which were not able to fit. So we just went to capacity and we would essentially host a forum kind of like this, where we would get input from them and we would allow them to put input on the campus. So with that being said, in summation, I believe you should appoint me to the Student Board of Representatives because I know that I have the ability to be a great leader. I know that I have excellent public speaking skills, and I know that I have the ability to enact long-lasting reform here at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll now enter a Q&A period. I will also just preface that this person will be appointed regardless, so just keep that in mind. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, Representative Kalauser.
Representative Legasso, Liberal Arts. What are some of your top legislative priorities? And have you had the chance to speak to some of your constituents about the issues that they're facing? And if you had, what are some of them?
So there are various issues that I believe that the UT campus is facing at the current moment. And I believe that various legislative issues should be taken into consideration when looking at this from an outside perspective. Of course, I have not had time to discuss this with any constituent, seeing that I am a freshman, I'm new, I'm just getting adjusted. But joining this year and starting for the rest of my career here at the University of Texas at Austin, I will make an active effort to ensure that I know what's going on here at the campus to ensure that I can make long-lasting reform here. Thank you.
Any other questions? President Murphy.
Awesome. Hi, Diego. Good to see you. I think you're my orientee, but yes, good to see you. Oh. Sorry, microphone. Same question as I just asked, and I asked it to all the potential reps is, you know, everything on affordability, do you support raising the wage, advocating for raising wages of campus workers to at least $15? And how would you also support student workers more broadly?
So yes, I do believe that the minimum wage should be increased to $15. And I think that one way that we can help student workers is by advocating for them as a whole to various communities, telling them that not everyone comes to college with money, not everyone has the financial needs to make ends meet, and they need to work for themselves. And I think that should be a message that is sent out to the entire university, that some of us need to work in order to be here at the University of Texas, and that it's essential that we have the funds to do such.
Any other questions? Representative Pena.
Representative Pena-Cola. Kind of just to reiterate on Representative Quajotz's question. I know you haven't gotten the time to speak to, some of the engineering students, but what are some of your personal legislative priorities?
So as a member of the LGBTQ+ community, I believe that it is imperative that we increase awareness about this, especially in the field of engineering where it may feel a little bit more taboo. So I think by raising awareness about who we are as a community and what we can do, what we can accomplish, I think that's one of my main priorities here as representative for the Cockrell School of Engineering.
Any other questions? Representative Weiss.
Representative Weiss, Communications. So in your introduction, which was lovely, by the way, you were talking a lot about hosting assemblies to gauge like opinions of like the people you're representing, the kind of environment that you're helping create. How do you plan on like fostering connections with other engineering students, seeing that you're just getting adjusted? How do you plan on gathering many people's opinions to properly represent them?
So a working, well-oiled machine undoubtedly has various components that individually serve a purpose.
Sorry, the time has expired. Is there a motion on the floor?
Extend time by 3 minutes by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? It's ordered.
As I was saying, a working, well-oiled machine has various components that individually serve no purpose, but together they unite to effectuate prosperous outcomes. And each member of the Cockrell School of Engineering is a part of that well-oiled machine that is our college. So in order to gauge their opinions, I will undoubtedly be able to go to the ER, just stand outside, you can ask them for their opinions right then and there. I've actually seen that before. There was once a group of 2 individuals, they were sitting there and they were in front of the ER at the celebrated entrance, and they were asking for opinions on the Cockrell School of Engineering and how we can improve it. So I think taking actions like those are something that I can do to gauge opinions from my peers.
Any further questions? Representative, you follow?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Representative Pena-Cola. I just wanted to know from our 6 committees, based on your varied interests, what do you think which committee would you be most interested in serving in and why?
I think I would be most interested in serving in the student affairs because I think that that's what we're here for. That's what student government is supposed to do. Engage in student affairs and enact with them and engage with them in a way that helps these issues become resolved.
Any other questions? All right, the speaker reclaims the time. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll now move on to Rain Daniel. And again, I want to emphasize that this person will be confirmed whether you want to or not. So just keep that in mind. All right.
Hi, y'all. It's been a minute since I've spoken from the crowd, so.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
Okay.
1 second.
Oh, hi. So yes, sorry.
Sorry, it's okay. Okay, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm interested in filling this position because I feel like I have had a wide breadth of experiences in my time here at UT that make me appropriate to represent students in the Cockrell School. To briefly introduce myself again, my name is Rain Daniel. I am a junior in biomedical engineering at the Cockrell School. So I have not had the most traditional path in engineering. I got to UT in 2017 as an out-of-state student. On my second year here, I added a dual major in French, and I'm an undergraduate research assistant. I'm an athlete. I took a year off of school. I did an internship in industry working in medical devices. So I really, I have experience in all aspects of what it means to be an engineer at UT. And I feel like since I've had such diverse experience, I've gained a sense of maturity, gained a lot of perspective on what it means to be an engineering student and also beyond that. And so I think I have experience in mentorship. I worked as a mentor for the Women in Engineering program, as a big buddy for freshman students coming in as freshmen in engineering. So I do have experience in helping guide new students. And since I did take a year off of my internship and I am in a 5-year program, I do tend to be a little bit older than the other kids in my class. So I feel like I'm able to lend them advice. So overall, I think I am well suited to represent the students of the Cockrell School because of my large, diverse breadth of experiences. Thank you.
We'll now enter Q&A. Are there any questions? Representative Galago.
Representative Kojasu, liberal arts. So it's the same question that I asked before. Considering your experience as a 5-year engineering student, what issues have you noticed that your constituents have? What legislative priorities do you wish to pursue?
Yeah, of course. So being a 5-year engineering student, I don't think that there's a lot of issues in that. The Cockrell School is very supportive of students, especially in biomedical engineering, taking the time they need to effectively go through this program. But in the Cockrell School overall, especially being a woman in engineering, I have, just experienced, times of feeling underrepresented, feeling overlooked, feeling not taken seriously. I think that there's a lot of power imbalances within the engineering school that can create toxic work environments and, just defeat morale in a lot of women students in Cockrell. That's the main thing that I've observed and had to go through myself being a student at UT, and something that I would definitely be hoping to change or help with going forward. So.
All right, President Murphy.
Hi, thank you so much, Rain, especially for sharing about your experiences. Same question. Do you support advocating for a campus wage of at least $15? And what other initiatives do you have, or could you think about for supporting campus workers?
Sure. I appreciate your advocacy for campus workers. I am a campus worker. Like I said, I work as an undergraduate research assistant for the Department of Physics. So I think when it comes to student workers, the number one thing is lending them the flexibility they deserve. Student workers are students first and workers second. And I think in terms of their supervisors and people that oversee them, that should be understood and enforced.
Any other questions? Representative Mosley.
Rep Mosley, UI. So UT since 2017. So I was wondering, what are some of the negatives or improvements that you've seen throughout that time period, whether that be on campus or?
That's a great question. It has been really interesting being here for what feels like eternity. You do see a lot of transients, a lot of things go in and out. I think you'd be surprised to hear that things don't really seem to change that much, at least in my perspective. The issues that I had when I was a freshman are still the issues that I have today. It has been encouraging to see more opportunities open up in terms of things that engineering students, opportunities for them outside of the classroom. I feel like I've seen that improve. But in terms of the issues I see within the classroom and within the classroom environment, I continue to be frustrated to this day. So.
All right, Representative Holder.
All right, first, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I'm sure this is something we'll have a lot to learn from you. I can't wait to work with you. But just following up on President Ernst's question, I didn't quite catch it. Do you support increasing the campus, or advocating to increase student wages for campus employees?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I advocate to increase campus wages for student employees.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, the speaker reclaims the reign of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, those are all the appointees that we have today as far as representatives go, so we are ready to swear them in.
All right, awesome. Let me pull up the oath of office. Little bit of a shocker, Supreme Court justices don't always have it memorized. All right. So if you could all, if you're being appointed, stand and raise your right hand. All right, awesome. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of the position you're being appointed for. Okay. Of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government. And will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student government. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations. You all have now full voting privileges. So the legislation we're hearing today, y'all have the opportunity to vote on. As y'all should already be on the roll. Okay, we'll move forward. We're going to move forward with unfinished business. We have no new business this week. So first up is AR1 in support of student efforts to unionize Starbucks. The committee has discharged it back to us. Chair Getty will explain what the committee did. You'll have briefly 1 minute just to do that.
We basically just summarized what legislation was again, and Daryl was able to give out that summary and answer any questions. There were many. I believe that there was one regarding whether like the tour questions, whether that was going to be part of the legislation. It wasn't. Daryl said he said some of those encouraged, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. So now the author is responsible for about 3 minutes to reintroduce the bill again. Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah.
Hey y'all, I'll keep it brief. So we introduced this last week, but for the new reps, first congratulations. Essentially, what this bill does is support the student efforts to unionize Starbucks across the West Campus. As a student government, it is our responsibility to uplift student initiatives and support them at all levels. So that's essentially what this bill does.
I think he covered it pretty well, but if anyone has any questions, then feel free to ask.
Okay, the speaker reclaims the remainder of the time. We'll now enter Q&A. Are there any questions and answers? Yeah. Representative Bailey.
Hi, Representative Bailey Cola. Another question about the tour. Have we picked a date yet?
Hi, Rep. Bailey. I don't think we have a date yet. Yeah, we sent out a when to meet to the students interested. Be sometime, I think by the end of this week, if not, be early next week. But if you're interested and like you're not in that Slack channel, let me know and I can make sure to add you all. We're gonna have as many people go, but we don't have a concrete date yet, but it should be up soon.
Follow-up question. Can you re-explain what the tour is for the new reps?
Good question. So essentially, to show our support, we're gonna go into the Starbucks that are attempting to unionize, so it's just 3 stores in West Campus. And we're gonna go there and show them that the student government supports their efforts and ask what we can do to help them.
Any other questions? Representative Whittington.
Representative Williamson Cola, okay, I hate to be a little baby, but can y'all please pick a date that's like not very hot?
No, I agree.
I'm like, welcome on.
No, I agree. I prefer a day that's like in the 70s. I think tomorrow's supposed to be 70s. It was way too hot today. So no, I agree with you.
All right, any other questions, Representative Feinstein? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
Representative Fearman.
Sorry.
Just general question. This Q&A is different from the debate. That's gonna.
Right. This is just, yeah. So Parliamentary Grace, this is just a Q&A period. This is just a Q&A period where you can ask questions about the bill before we vote on it. If you want to enter debate, you can enter debate, just make the motion, but this right now is just Q&A. Any other questions? Representative Weiss.
Representative Weiss Communications. So last I heard, the Starbuckses around campus were still voting whether they would go through with unionizing. Do we have any updates on that or no?
Can I let, Amanda answer that? She's currently an employee at.
The rules, I don't think the rules allow for that.
All right, well, I will say, to my knowledge, I don't think any Starbucks has currently voted to unionize, but all the ones listed in the legislation have already introduced their intent to unionize. I do know it can take a long process, especially with the efforts of like, unions like busting. However, should I have any updates, I'll make sure to let you all know.
Any other questions? All right, the speaker reclaims the remainder of the time. Thank you so much. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, so we now need to move the previous question to end debate. So the speaker will entertain a motion to move the previous question. Representative Whittington.
Motion to move the previous question by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? So ordered. Now we'll get Representative Tristan.
Representative Tristan UI, I motion to approve AR 01 by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections?
I make a motion.
Representative Holman.
Representative UI, I motion to approve AR1 on a roll call vote.
Once the roll call is begun, we cannot stop it. I mean, you can make a motion to recess, that takes precedence, but.
Motion to recess.
Okay, there's a motion to recess. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any objections? Stand in recess 2 minutes.
Wait, what? What? What?
We're in recess.
What?
We're in recess.
What are you doing?
I wanted to try to put an amendment in a resolution. Can I do that tonight, or is that?
We've already moved the previous question on it.
For the next piece.
Oh, for the other one.
Next.
Yes, when we enter after Q&A and motions on the floor, you can amend it. Or we enter debate.
Okay, cool. And so when I like read out the text.
You need to email it to Tom, so it's in writing. You've already emailed to it?
Can I do that right now?
Yeah, email it to me right now.
Okay.
Yeah, just email it to me right now then.
Just like procedural question, we had the Q&A, and then was there supposed to be time allotted for debate or not?
Only if some motions to enter debate.
So we motion to enter debate and then set a time for that?
So the time is, I think, 5 minutes allotted to each side. I have to go back and check the rules. It's 5 minutes for each side, and then we just keep going until they both sit down or until someone moves to end it.
Wait, so there's gonna be a debate for the second bill?
If someone makes a motion.
So, but we only debate if there's a motion for debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin, I think we could like do it for orientation, for that, they get all the complaints.
Yes, it's all in the training.
What?
Actually, maybe it's good.
What?
Oh, it is, hold on.
I think people get.
All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is elapsed. The committee or the assembly stands back in session. Okay. Okay, so the speaker will entertain a motion to approve AR1. Representative Whittington.
Motion to approve AR1 by hand vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any objection?
I object. Yeah. UI, excuse me, Representative UI, I motion to approve AR1 by a roll call.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we will proceed with the roll call vote. The clerk will call the roll.
Yes, me. Representative Adams.
Do we not like debate or anything?
Are you, okay, so. Yeah, so a motion to enter debate, you need to make a motion to debate. This was all in the orientation. No? Oh. Okay, well. So when you want to enter debate, someone needs to make the motion to enter debate. Just, simply say, I move to enter debate. Obviously, it is now too late to do that because we've already begun the roll call. But as it relates to future legislation, you do need to make a motion to enter debate before we vote on it. Okay, clerk will call the roll.
Representative Adams. Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Bala Krishna.
Yes.
Representative Banjara.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Representative Kent. Representative Chiapetta. Representative Cindric.
Yes.
Sorry, my Okay, we have a paper.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Okay.
Here, let me do that.
Okay, no, I got it. Okay, we're gonna start over because there's a mistake.
This is AR1.
Yeah, no, this. Okay.
What?
Representative Cindric.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, why does it say yes? or no?
Hold on. It's here, this is when you press Y.
Oh.
It does that. Yeah. I can go back and. There we go.
Okay, Representative Cindric.
Yes.
Representative Carson. Representative Collazo. Representative Thomas. Representative Feinstein. Representative Fernandez.
Yes.
Representative Fierman.
No.
Representative Getachew.
Yes.
Representative Gonzalez. Representative Greenwald.
Yep.
Representative Hellenic.
Yes.
Representative Hayes.
Yes.
Representative Hoshing.
Yes.
Representative Holman.
Yes.
Representative Jadell.
Yes.
Representative Sahil. Representative McGill.
Yes.
Representative Moore.
Yes.
Representative Mosley.
Yes.
Representative Pena.
Yes.
Representative Ryan.
Yes.
Representative Sanchez.
Yes.
Representative Sensabi.
Yes.
Representative Tristan.
Yes.
Representative Embar.
Yes.
Sorry? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Representative Villanueva. Representative Weiss. Representative Whittington.
Yes.
Representative Dezak. Representative Hernandez.
Yes.
Representative Daniel. On this vote, there are 25 yeas, 1 no, 2 abstentions. The bill is passed. The resolution is passed. Okay, back to slides. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. We'll now move forward with AR2. So again, how this is working. They're going to go up, explain for 3 minutes. There'll be 5 minutes for Q&A. At any point of the Q&A, anyone can make a motion to enter debate. I'm assuming that's going to happen, so I'm going to explain what's going to happen with that. There will be 5 minutes allotted to each side to kind of talk back and forth, and debate will continue until both parties sit down or someone over here make a motion to end debate. Okay. Will the authors and sponsors present AR2? And then, Joe, you want to do the time?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
What?
You should go there and say.
Or what can just go there, just be silent.
Yeah.
I think it's others, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, is this where I speak or Leland, is this you?
Microphone.
Okay, microphone. Hello. I don't know. Oh, here's one. Yes, we have one of the main authors here today, Nikita, so we're gonna go ahead and let her present. So Nikita, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready. So you can start the timer. I think it was covered pretty well in the first meeting. There were a couple things I just wanted to clear up. And it's that the FDA had a study where they administered the active ingredient of Plan B to rats at an appropriate dose for 2 years. There was no increase in tumorigenicity, and it's classified as a carcinogen at the same level as substances like alcohol and processed meat. The bottom line is that Plan B does not cause any malignancies. And there was also a study published in the Journal of Contraception this year that showed no adverse effects to fertility. And then again, I think that the whole resolution is about informed consent and informed sexual and reproductive health services. And so, of course, we want to be empowering individuals who use the Plan B vending machine to make decisions that are the best for their bodies and their futures. But as someone who has taken Plan B in the past, the side effects are well explained by the box. And if they're not, we can again provide pamphlets that do so. But the side effects, I didn't have any. And most women just experience mild bleeding. And then the last thing that I kind of just want to clarify, because I'm someone who really believes in science, is that the way the hormone in Plan B works, it's not the same as the hormones in birth control, but it is the same class of progestin hormones. Those are similar to the hormones that our body naturally makes, which is progesterone, and those work to delay ovulation and prevent fertility. So those were the kind of clarifications I wanted to make. In this last 30 seconds, I just want to reiterate the fact that this is supposed to provide students on campus a choice in which to have their sexual and reproductive futures in a way that they can control. It's not trying to give them a method of birth control every day. It's not trying to promote any unhealthy practices. It's just giving students the opportunity to have a choice in their reproductive features. Thank you.
All right. The speaker will claim the remainder of time. We will now enter a 5-minute Q&A period. Are there any questions? Representative Turgeman.
Hi, Representative Josephine U-Wide. I was just wondering, like, would you support putting a sign on the machine that kind of listed the side effects or the risks that women take when they take Plan B, just so people are informed before they take the pill?
Yeah, so like I said, I think that Plan B is a really easy medication to take. You just take it. There are mild side effects. But if people go to our current Instagram, there's a lot of information about how to take it, side effects. And I would want to provide the same information to individuals. It could be in the form of a leaflet. It could be in the form of, a number of things. But again, it's all about informed medical decisions.
Any other questions? Representative Balakrishnan.
Representative Balakrishnan, business. I asked this to Leland last time, but I think this is a better question for you, Nikita. You guys mentioned that the cost to acquire each packet of, I guess the Plan B would be around $5, and you're selling it at $7. So clearly there's a profit there to be made. Where's that profit going to go initially, or once you maybe broken even on the cost of the vending machine? Will you reduce that price or keep it at the same price and give that money to somewhere else? What's going to happen to that money?
Yeah, so my biggest principle in installing this machine would be that we're not making a profit off of students, and we're not making a profit off of healthcare services. So my goal is to sell it in the machine such that we're not making a profit. I had a meeting with the distributor, one of the distributors of Plan B, this past week, where they kind of explained how you set up a purchasing order and how the purchasing works. And we didn't get into specific financials, but I'm sure that the unit price plus like whatever the shipping and handling costs end up being is something that we can calculate and then set the price so that it's basically just breaking even on that. I also don't want to be trying to turn a profit on the vending machine or on the Plan B, like sold in the vending machine to recoup the purchase of the vending machine. I think that's just something that either would have to come out of the budget, or we can apply for special projects funding, or it's something that would come from an external grant. And those are all avenues that we're currently exploring.
Follow-up question, who is paying for this? Like, is it coming out of the SG budget or university?
Yeah, again, that's something that we haven't figured out because I don't think that the SG budget for this year has been finalized, and like I don't think that the special projects funding has been finalized, but I think that would be a really good source, and that's something we're looking into. We also are going to try and set up a meeting with like the CFO of UT and ask him where he feels like the best funding source for a project like this would be.
Any other questions? Representative Bailey.
Representative Bailey Cola. Hi, I'm just wondering, what does like the timeline look like implementing this? When do you see us having this vending machine on campus?
Sorry, it took me a second to unmute. The timeline for a machine like this would ideally be, we were hoping by the end of this year. I'm not really sure if that's a possibility anymore. We have a meeting set up with Katie Red, who's the director of Longhorn Wellness, and some of the LSO advisors next week to chat about the feasibility of a plan like this. But I'm hoping that once we have approval from Senate and student government, the emails that we've been sending to like vending and legal and the dean of students office actually start getting listened to seriously, and they say, okay, this is a project that we would really like to start implementing. What can we do to make it happen? And then that's where me and my team come in, because I have the vending machine distributor already in contact. I have the Plan B's distributor in contact. I have like a plan of where we could put this, a plan of how we could stock it. And so from my end, everything is good to go and like really ready to start happening. It's just really waiting on approval from, you know, organizations like student government and then some of the administrative offices.
Yeah, I have a follow-up. So obviously the approval from administration and student government is under your control. But once you ideally get that approval, how long do you think it will take for it to get on campus? So like once administration says yes, what is the timeline like for you to get it here?
I think it would take about, like once we have the yes and the funding, I don't think it would take more than a month to receive the vending machine. And so ideally that would be the kind of timeline that we're looking at, would be about a month or so.
The speaker will claim the time, seeing as we only have 4 seconds left. Is there any motions on the floor? Representative Krishnan.
Motion to extend time by 2 minutes.
Is there a second? Any objections? So ordered. Any further questions? Representative Pena.
Representative Pena Cola. I know I asked this last week to President Murphy and Vice President Lugasi. I just was wondering, I know that they mentioned the idea of placing it in a central location that's 24-hour access. I was just wondering if you specifically had a specific location in mind. I just wanted to ensure that it's something that's accessible from, you know, for all students south, north, and west campus.
Yeah, totally. So one of the locations, or a couple of locations that we had initially been considering, was either the gender neutral bathroom that's in the SAC near the GSC, or the gender neutral bathroom in Jester, because those are 24-hour accessible buildings with a student ID. Another location that had been proposed was the gender neutral bathroom in the SSB, especially because that's close to the Longhorn Wellness office, but I'm just not sure if that's accessible to students at 24 hours. And I also think it'll depend upon what tech like facilities and housing and dining tell us, because when we were talking to vending, they told us that they like the spots that they were in charge of, they did not have any open spots right now. But I think those 2 first locations I mentioned would be really great places to have a pilot project.
Any other questions? Representative Krishnan.
Representative of Business, earlier when you were talking about like the financials, you mentioned that you were still in talks with the university and stuff. So in your expert opinion, do you think that the university will eventually approve this? I know that it's really hard for you to say, but I mean, just realistically, like, you know, what do you think is gonna happen with this?
Yeah, that's a good question. November of, I'm really this is around the country. There are that I know isn't the same, but there's also some in more
The time has
similar
expired.
climate to us that did successfully. No,
The speaker will entertain a motion. Representative Whittington.
Motion to extend question and answer by 2 minutes.
Is there a second? Any objections? So ordered. Okay, you may continue. Okay, do you want to? Okay, can you repeat your answer?
sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out for a second. Did I miss something?
Did you get the question? Do you need the question restated?
Sorry.
Do you need the question restated?
Oh, is it the question from Representative Balakrishnan, the same question?
But your Zoom was cutting out, so we couldn't hear your answer.
Oh, I see. Okay. So no, I don't need the question restated. Should I just continue with the answer or restart with the answer, I suppose? So yeah, what I was saying was that there are a lot of college campuses around the country that are implementing this. And one point that was raised to me was that they're in very liberal areas like California, New York, Boston. But what also gives me hope is that there's a vending machine at Purdue University in Indiana, which is in a really more conservative area. And the same with George Mason in Virginia. And the people that we've talked to at Longhorn Wellness, the people that we've talked to at the Dean of Students have given us reason to be cautiously optimistic about this. I have a lot of hope for UT that this is a program that would be successful, especially because the responses that we saw from the survey demonstrated an immense need for something like this. And so I would hope that regardless of personal feelings on the matter, administrators do believe that it's necessary to do what will be best to support students with academic, emotional, and physical well-being, which is implementing this. And I do believe that we will be able to put that case towards them. So yes, I do believe that this is something that could be approved. And I do believe that like funding and implementation, that's something that could be worked out, and we have a really great plan for all of that.
And I also want to add that part of the reason why this resolution is here and also in the Senate is to give them leverage to uplift these activists and what they've already been doing. So I think that with us passing it, it will really help give that vote of confidence that they should move forward with this.
All right, any other questions? Representative Mosley.
Brett Mosley, UI, there, within the resolution, it says, quote, a vending machine that includes emergency contraception and other sexual health supplies. Can you go into specifics as to what those other supplies will be and how they will be restocked, and who will be restocking?
I'm gonna go ahead and reclaim the time here. I'm gonna go ahead and reclaim the time because there's like 6 seconds. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to extend time to 3 minutes by.
Is there a second? Any objections? So ordered. Okay. All right, you're good to proceed.
Should I respond to the question now? Is that okay? Okay. So we put that wording in there because we wanted to leave the door open. That's kind of coming back to my answer from the last question, to work with the university in the way they would see fit. And so what a lot of other schools have done is they've kind of put this in place as a sexual health machine, or a health machine, and they offer products like condoms, lube, dental dams, Advil, and menstrual products. As a pilot project, we could choose to include those things in our vending machine, or we could choose not to. I think it's all about what admin feels like students best need and what they feel like they want to get behind supporting and providing. But I think that there are also a lot of other programs on campus right now, like the menstrual equity program and Longhorn Wellness Condom Distribution Program, that take care of those issues. And so it's not like we necessarily need to be providing those supplies. And I hope that answers that question. I can expand on that a little.
Any other questions? Yeah, Representative Mosley, you have a follow-up?
Brett Mosley, would you be in support of an amendment to introduce to this resolution, calling for a sign to be placed next to the machine that will list out the potential symptoms and risks of emergency contraception?
Sorry, can I ask a clarification about that question? So sorry, the question was asking if I would be in support of an amendment that just listed out those other things in the resolution itself.
An amendment that would call for the installation of signs alongside the vending machine that would outline the symptoms and risks of taking emergency contraception.
Yeah, I think that I would want to be careful about a way that that is worded, because I don't want to make individuals think that there are risks associated with taking Plan B, especially because people will already sometimes call Plan B the abortion pill when it is not, and they will fearmonger and say that Plan B is going to cause intense side effects, which it likely will not. But if an amendment is necessary to pass this, then I would be more than happy to sit down and write out exactly what we could put on the side of the machine so that it scientifically describes exactly what individuals might face when taking Plan B and why they shouldn't be worried when taking Plan B, because it's just as safe as taking Advil.
Any other questions? All right, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. So now we can do one of three things. We can now either one, enter debate if someone makes a motion, two, offer any amendments, or three, move the previous question in debate and proceed to vote. With that being said, is there a motion on the floor? Representative Mosley.
Motion to amend AR02, the unanimous consent. Send the amendment to the speaker.
Can we also see the amendment text?
Yeah, pulling up 1 second.
Point of information.
Go ahead.
In our committee, I asked the same question about amending it to include that. And I was told that that was something that was part of the implementation process rather than the resolution itself.
Can I follow up on
George, is that it?
What?
Following up on a follow-up?
Yeah, there is another response.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, I was at Student Affairs, and this is something that could be done at implementation. So an amendment is not 100% necessary. If we choose to do that route, that's okay, as long as Nikita said, the text is very careful to reflect science and the facts and not just, if you're wondering about Plan B. But this is also something that could theoretically be done during implementation as well. So to answer your question.
Okay. Well, that being said, this is the amendment. Representative Mosley has up to 2 minutes to speak on the amendment if you wish. Yeah, or up there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so basically I'd like to introduce this amendment to ensure that there will be signage next to this vending machine, this resolution passes, to ensure that students are up to date and know exactly what they're going to be putting in their bodies, and know that the potential risks and symptoms of Plan B are relevant, because there was a study, I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but there was a study that said that over 20% of respondents did not understand the side effects of Plan B. So I think that's important that we go ahead and ensure that signage is posted next to the machine.
Okay. So the code doesn't provide clarification on whether or not if we can enter Q&A on amendments, but just out of a sense of formality and procedure, I will entertain a 3-minute Q&A period. So Representative Moore. Whenever you're ready.
This is more,
Yeah.
This is more a general question, but can I offer up a wording adage for the amendment?
You want to amend the amendment?
Yes, I want to amend the amendment.
Can you submit that to me in email in writing?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna stay on these for 1 minute.
So we would need to proceed with the amendment. But he wants to amend. Right, but you can amend the amendments. Yeah, so like if you have to make an amendment, his amendment, and then if that's approved, then it's your house full amendment. And then no, it's the same thing, we just added it. Oh, so we have to amend the amendment first, so we have to hear his proposal. It's just separate. No, it's the same amendment. He distinctly says, I'm amending the amendment. That's in Robert's rules, it's in second. Yeah, Robert's rules, it's in second degree. Here. No, I know it is. I just that's like unfair. Amendment to amendment. No. No problem.
Hi.
Hello.
Are we in a recess?
We're standing at ease.
What does that mean?
It means a recess, but everyone knows.
Right now doesn't matter. I was just asking. No, it wouldn't be.
I have to leave. Can I submit my vote?
Yeah.
Okay. Even like I vote dismiss.
Or
Right. So we will, yeah. I mean, you know.
Oh, have you received his?
All right, I'm calling us back into order. Sorry, I needed to confer with the rule book just to double check on second degree amendments and the procedures with that, because there's no like ruling on that. So, okay. Sorry? Yeah, we conferred with it. So we checked. So did you email that? Okay.
Sorry, can I ask a? Sorry,
not
I
at
just,
this-
okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Did you? Which email did you send it to? Oh, I see it. Okay. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. There is an amendment to the amendment. Right, Zach, that's what this is?
Yeah, we're gonna do another amendment.
Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Just so I understand what's going on. Representative Moore. Are you, Representative Moore? Representative Moore, are you changing this one or is this something completely separate? Okay.
Pretend you have to keep it.
Okay.
Just pretending it's you.
Okay.
So you withdrawn, yeah.
All right.
What is he changing? Because you can't like highlight red like the pink stuff. You really can't do it. So maybe you should change it. Yeah, I think yeah. Because like you don't know what people. Okay. Well, wait, so instead of 2 minutes, did you say? What are we covering? Do you support? No, it wasn't the but we offered a count. That's what I was talking about. So do you support his amendment? Well, yeah, because literally was the text that she said. Like he's replaced. That's why he's replacing his amendment with basically the text that she said. So he's introducing our shit on it, then we can.
Well, his amendment is to add on to this, but it sounds like he's, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
So I think what I suggest is that this is a separate amendment.
Hey, sorry, should I go through? Okay, I think there's like a scientific inaccuracy that might be like steering debate in a uncorrect way that I would like to try to correct. Would the time to do that be during Q&A, even though it's, if you can phrase your question, if I can, okay, perfect.
Or if you make a motion in debate, you can speak on it.
I don't want to do that. Okay.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna talk.
The assembly is going to stand at ease for 2 minutes again.
Oh, no, I was just wondering, since you're one of the because I mean,
Don't get it
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Hi, Lucy.
So we're good.
That was a charger. I just got it. Huh? I know, it also
Yeah, we're gonna do it. I need to make a separate.
All right, all right. I'm gonna call us back to order. So I just wanted to confirm the rules again because there was some confusion on what we were trying to do. So here's what's going to happen. There are two amendments on the floor right now. We're gonna hear Representative Mosley's first. And just for context for everyone, the amendments cover the same thing, but they're different in a, hold on, they're different in a slight sense. So both of them cannot pass. So if yours passes and yours also passes, I will rule yours out of order because they're substantially similar. So does everyone understand that? Representative Lee.
I thought the second amendment was an amendment to the amendment.
It is not. No.
It's a amendment.
Yeah. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and hear Representative Mosley's amendment.
Can we compare the amendments? Is there anything?
I mean, I don't have a document to put it on. Like I can, we'll get to that. Okay. No, you're good. Okay. So did Representative already speak on it?
No, there's a point of information.
No.
Okay, he did, but we didn't do Q&A.
Okay, so we have already entered the speech for Representative Mosley on his amendment, so we'll now enter a 3-minute period of Q&A. Are there any questions on the amendment on the floor right now? Representative Pace.
Hi, Rick Hayes, architecture. I have a question that involves a fair amount of preamble. Is correct what I believe is a scientific inaccuracy in some of the discussions around this bill. Again, just to start off, I am not a science major.
Is this relevant to the amendment?
I believe so. I think it's important.
If it's relevant to the amendment, you can ask it, but if not, just wait till we finish the amendment and then we get back to the main bill.
Okay, all right, I yield my time.
Okay. Representative Pilato. Microphone.
Does the university already hand out in some capacity, or would we just be the first time the university does that?
I can't answer the question. I do not know.
Point of information, right now we're considering Representative Mosley's amendment.
Right, so strictly on the amendment at hand. Okay, are there any questions to the amendment? Representative Fearman.
Representative Fearman, business. Where would the information come from and how would we make sure that's bipartisan and not biased?
That's a good question. Very good question. I would believe that information would come with university health services, right, where we're setting up study. I think that's definitely something that we should consider to ensure that the information present on the signage.
Okay, any other questions? Representative or President Murphy.
Yes, so after talking with Nikita, the other amendment, we got more facts that actually are scientifically proven, and this current amendment does not actually reflect that, so that's why we're hoping to reject it, and I was just wondering what your thoughts on that for Representative Mosley.
Yeah, and first off, I think that we can go back and forth about the studies and the facts and all that, right? But I think that that's definitely something we should determine after this is resolved. But I think that this amendment specifically allows, it's broad enough to allow for both, to lay out symptoms and lay out the risks. I think that the other amendment, when adding language of fear mongering and that type of thing, that allows for the ability to strike certain symptoms or certain risks. It puts a limit on what can be put on the signage. And it gives the people who are making the signage the ability to include or exclude certain things that may take away information from students. So I think this amendment does a good enough job in ensuring that students are well informed about what they're putting into the body. And it gives enough leeway to have individuals crafting language in the sign. It gives them enough leeway to put in what they would like to put in, while ensuring that everything is listed, and I think the other amendment would limit that ability, say that certain things. I think this is for when it's resolved, on whether or not certain facts should be included. But I think that adding in fear mongering language would lead to more exclusion than inclusion. I think more facts than that.
Okay, I'm going to reclaim the time. Is there a motion to extend Q&A on the amendment? And I'll just go ahead and preface this because of the time that we're in. It's already 9:12. I'm only going to take one extension, and then I'll rule the rest out of order since there are no rules to govern that. You're free to appeal my decision. With that being said,
Representative Bailey, motion to extend time by 3 minutes, making this consent.
is there a second? Any objections?
You said 3 minutes, right?
Any objections? Sorted. Representative Fearman.
Just Point of information about this amendment. This amendment says nothing whatsoever about the facts that will be included. Like, there's no bias in this.
Are you asking a question to me or a point of information is for me?
I would like to ask a question to him, but can I?
Not yet, until we can get to the his amendment. We're not on his amendment, we're on the.
Are we gonna debate this amendment or is it just gonna be Q&A for him until we vote?
If someone makes a motion to enter debate for the amendment, we can.
Motion to enter debate for this amendment.
Okay. Is there a second? Any objections? Oh, you can't? Okay. Okay, so what will happen here is that we're entering debate on this amendment. Both parties will go, for the proponents will go here, the opponents will go there. There will be 3 minutes allotted to each side. And it will continue until both parties sit down or someone down here on the floor makes a motion to end debate. Will the proponents and opponents go and stand?
Like opponents of the amendment?
Right, so.
They're against it, go to the side.
Yes, opponents of the amendment go this way. If you're in favor of this current amendment, go this way.
Speakers, I believe. Equal time. That's what it's, sorry, yeah. You can 3 minutes.
If you're in favor of neither, no amendment.
You don't have to say, yeah.
I just got. So how do I end debate? What do I say?
I make a motion after the time elapsed.
After the
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay. Okay.
And
So-
don't have to agree to it.
I'm giving you a brief. Okay, so for people to understand what's going on again, both sides will have 3 minutes to explain their case. It will go back and forth until all parties on both sides sit, or until someone over here makes a motion to end debate once the time has expired for both sides. With that being said, we'll start with the opponents of the amendment, the current amendment. The time starts whenever you're ready.
Okay, so basically, we oppose this amendment because the second amendment, the one you're referring to, just scratch that out of your brain because that's not the second amendment that we're proponents of. I mean,
No, it's only relevant to. It's only for this amendment. Yes, I mean, you can.
Okay, so basically, we removed the fear mongering language, so I think that'll make you happy, Representative Mosley, but we disagree with this amendment specifically because it says it amplifies the fact that there are side effects and risks of emergency contraception that need to be elaborated on further than what is already in the packet. Now, I don't know if any of you have already bought Plan B. I haven't personally, just to be that clear. But when you do buy Plan B, like when you get the packet, there's like sheets of papers and information and stuff that like most people who do take that pill do read because they're putting something in their body that is a chemical and it's already there. Like all of the information that is science backed and from reputable sources is there. The language of this amendment is politicized. The language of this amendment states that any and all information from any source can be put on that little disclaimer. The language of our amendment that we propose is going to have language that specifies that the distributor and the scientists that have made this drug are going to tell us what information to put on that disclaimer. So we want to make sure that everyone has information with regards to Plan B. We agree that, apart from what's in the packet, I guess we can arrive at a compromise that we can put that signage on the vending machine, but that the signage does not need to be politicized and it does not need to be inaccurate. Anyone else have anything to say?
So kind of adding to that, the packaging is from health professionals and it is unbiased because it's from health professionals. It's only science-based versus a flyer written by students, it's going to be inherently biased. We're not experts in this field. We haven't studied Plan B for years and years like the people who wrote the packaging did. So I can see a flyer in which we take directly from the packaging, but that information is already there.
Okay, the opposition?
Yeah, I just read your amendment and I agree, I think it's good. I think it's definitely more specific and it allows for, a third party body to, make the sign and it allows for, the packaging, the symptoms on the packaging to be listed. Yeah, that's good with me.
So are you withdrawing your amendment?
Oh, stop. Are you yielding your time? Okay. Paul, are you withdrawing your amendment?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the time for debate has ended. The amendment has been withdrawn, so we'll now hear the other amendment on the floor.
This is 2 minutes, right? No, it's 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Representative Moore, you have 2 minutes to explain your amendment.
Two.
Okay, so basically our amendment is specific, it's unbiased, just like we talked about. You can read it right up here, but specifically like utilizing a third party of AC for AC that will assist with this distribution will actively fight against biases, so fight against the explicit language that Representative Mosley was fearful about. It'll just take away all our worries and I mean, the worries good to me. Yeah. I yield my time.
Okay, Representative Moore yields the time for the amendment. We'll now enter a 3-minute period of Q&A. Are there any questions on the amendment? Representative Flavio.
Where are these information, Representative Pajasso, liberal arts, where are these flyers going to be disseminated to? I don't think it says that.
So all the flyers come within each Plan B delivery that EC4EC will get. So then all the flyers will be included in every single box of Plan B that will be purchased from the vendor.
Any other questions? Representative Pena.
I just want to know, I'm trying to perform this as a question. Do you believe that having this big signage as people come up to purchase, Plan B from here, that it might deter individuals from purchasing it if we have this big kind of scary list of side effects that are already in the package when they buy it? It just feels like that's the question, sorry.
Hey, that's a good question. Nikita, if you're still here, can we give our time to her?
Yeah, am I allowed to talk?
Are you yielding?
We're gonna allow her to talk.
Okay, yes.
Okay, yeah, so I just kind of want to make a few points. One, buying Plan B is like buying any other over-the-counter medication in which you are given a list of potential side effects, potential risks on a packet that you can read if you so choose. So like when you buy Advil, you get the same thing in the box. Just because Plan B is related to women's health issues does not mean that we need to be extra emphasizing these risks. As someone who has bought Plan B and who has taken Plan B, I read the risk sheet before I took it. And to be quite honest, I was not that concerned about the risk because my main goal was not being pregnant. Secondly, our whole Instagram, our whole messaging, all of our events are dedicated to making sure that people understand how Plan B works, when to take it, and why to take it. And so I wouldn't want to put a huge signage on there that is fear-mongering, that is saying, these are the risks, that is saying, you need to be worried, you might have cramps, you might have bleeding. It might look more like a few flyers on a table next to the vending machine that say, hey, do you want to learn more about Plan B? Take one. And on that, we can say, hey, most people don't have side effects. Some have nausea, some have a headache, some have an irregular early cycle. This is when you need to take Plan B. There are these 2 validated studies that show that Plan B has no carcinogenic effects and no effects on future fertility. And these are all studies that are validated by the American Society of Emergency Contraception, which is a bipartisan, non-political governing authority on emergency contraception in the US. So again, the goal here is not to be emphasizing the fact that there are potential risks or potential side effects, but rather promoting the goal of making emergency contraception understood and valued just as a medication and understood and known on campus. Because from the survey we ran, it did seem like students just didn't know even when they should be taking it. So if we're telling students when to take it and we're telling them, hey, most people don't have side effects, but it might happen, I think that would be totally fine.
All right, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. Are there any motions on the floor to extend time? I will entertain one motion to do that. Or we can vote on the amendment if there's a motion for that.
Motion to vote on which amendment?
This one.
Yeah, motion to vote on the amendment by hand.
Approve? Motion to approve the amendment?
Approve, yes.
Okay. There's been a motion to approve the amendment by a hand vote, right?
Yes.
All those in favor of the amendment will raise your hand. All those opposed will raise your hand. Okay, amendment passes. Okay. So there are no other amendments on the floor currently. So what's gonna happen now is, imagine that this amendment was in the actual bill. I haven't had time to copy paste it yet. But so now what will happen is we can move the previous question and debate. We can make a motion to enter debate on the bill itself, or we can enter Q&A again. The speaker will entertain a motion. Representative Colaje.
Motion to move the previous question by hand vote. Second.
Okay, all those in favor of moving the previous question will raise your hand. All those opposed will raise your hand. Previous question is approved. The speaker will entertain a motion to approve the bill. Representative Christian.
Representative Easton U wide, I move to approve AR 02 by a hand vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? All those in favor of AR2 will raise your hand. All those opposed will raise your hand. All right, AR2 passes. Congratulations to the author. All right. All right, ex officio reports. Anyone from GSA, Senate? No?
I
All
can be
right.
Senate.
I don't think you should be Senate.
Okay.
You would love to be Senate.
I know.
If you want to.
I was gonna say, well, can I say it? Oh, this one? I was gonna say on Thursday, Senate will be voting on their executive board nominees and just seeing a list of all the people, they're all amazing people who've done incredible work, incredible things. So, yeah, that's happening this Thursday at Senate's General Assembly, but they're all awesome. It's gonna be a great executive board to work with.
All right, anyone else from Senate or GSA? All right, agency directors. Nope, all right, moving on. Executive board reports, Vice President.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. In terms of what I've been doing, I've been doing a lot of outreach for our executive board applications. So I sent around 74 emails to a bunch of different organizations that are often underrepresented and marginalized and not really present in these spaces, just due to not really knowing that they have the option available to them. So making them sure that we extend that welcome and also let them know that we're here to amplify their initiatives. So I did that. And also, I just want to say again that if you know any people who you think would be good for an executive board, please let them know. It's going to close April 15th. So yeah. Again, please join the social fly. I do want to make sure that we're more of a community here. I did a poll and it seems that more people wanted the SG versus Senate Female Day. So once we have a board, we're gonna definitely try and make sure that that is something that we do. I'm gonna send my bio stuff Thursday. Please do it. I'm desperate. And I was thinking that maybe at the beginning of assembly, we could like have like a collab playlist and that plays, and so we get to know each other's music taste. I also wanna create a better community and not have that much tension, because in the end of the day, we all just wanna help people, and we're all here to do the same thing, so, yeah.
Yes. Oh, wait, can I come here? Or does it matter? Okay, hi everyone again. Just want to say firstly, thank you all for passing AR2 and AR1. And that was a great, healthy debate. So just thank you so much for passing them. Also happy first, kind of second week of April, but I'm excited for this month and only like what, a month left of school, so that's really exciting. I'm kind of like Isabel already touched on, exec board apps close next Friday, so please just be helping push that to all your spaces. We want a really diverse and amazing applicant pool. Just want to bump the budget community working group interest form again. Please fill it out. We're still working to get the SG socials. We're hoping to post on there. Might end up just posting it in our campaign account. But for anyone that's interested, please fill it out and tell all your friends in our outside legislative student or organizational spaces that we really want their actual student input as well. And then speaking of AR01, please join the channel about playing Starbucks Tour if you're interested. And just want to shout out Gerald, Adrian, and Helen for AR1 passing. And an additional shout out for Eric for actually bringing up this idea about the tour. So we're really excited to see that come to fruition. So if you want to help us, please join that channel. And then my last little thing is just a weekly recap. I sent it in the Slack. That includes everything that Isabel and I did last week. And again, we're just keeping sending those every week and posting them on our socials. Some notable things from last week. We met with Echo and Samiha, who are the new president and vice president of the Center of College Councils. So we're starting to get that collaboration early on. We met with Sohag Quadri, who's running for Austin City Council District 9, he's progressive. So again, we're looking forward to doing a lot of local advocacy with him for students and just community members in Austin, and just a lot of other great stuff going on. But yeah, read the weekly recaps if you're interested, and reach out to Isabel or I if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or want to be included on any of those initiatives or just have questions about them. But yeah, thank you all so much.
Do you have a question?
You know why the O's are still posted on the SG account?
Okay, so, I'll just say that as of now, we do not have access to the student government social media. As soon as we do, if anyone wants us to post something, we can, but as of now, we can't. And that's all I'm gonna say.
I also just, okay, wow, I'll use my, but there's a running bet right now when we're gonna get access to that. So if y'all want to join that bet, put it in the chat.
My bet is fall 2022.
All right. Any other questions for the president? All right, moving forward. All right, Assembly Board reports, rules and regulations.
All right, hey everyone, I'll keep it quick, because it's been a long meeting. Oh, excuse me. So here are we still have written meet, so we can meet and elect our new vice chair. Additionally, I want to go over some of our initiatives I plan on pursuing before we adjourn the semester. So exactly, yeah, just felt that with a meet. And lastly, I have some news on the constitutional referendum. So for those of you who are engaged within the 115, we passed EB 13 and 14, which was the ethics oversight. Excuse me, ethics SG. When making constitutional changes, it has to go to a student referendum. So today I was speaking to our student government advisor Dave, and for whatever reason, obviously the students just isn't ready to have all that, have all the details hammered out by the end of the semester. So we'll be waiting on the constitutional changes in the fall, it looks like. So yeah, we love the bureaucracy, but there is some good news, and Kevin's gonna share that in a minute.
All right. As it's an oversight.
Congratulations to Representative Sender for being elected Vice Chair of the Ethics and Oversight Committee. Congratulations to new representatives and co-directors. Real quick, the community engagement attendance is being enforced starting this month. You can sure to fill it out by April 30th at 11:59 p.m. Update on table link, keep an eye out for my message. We'll probably need to get one next week, hopefully. For those interested in joining the DEI caucus, please reach out. And as always, if you need to be absent, reach out to me at least 24 hours in advance with a valid conflict. Thanks.
All right.
Can you explain more about that requirement, the community engagement?
Yes, so basically every representative has to attend one community engagement event, but it has to be something outside of an organization that you are already a part of. It's just one per month, and if you can't attend one for whatever reason, just please reach out.
Okay, yep.
Sorry, what exactly?
It's basic, there's actual guidelines in the code, which I will send a screenshot of in the Slack, but basically it's just anything that is engaging with another organization on campus that's already doing work.
All right. Next up. All right, academic affairs.
So yeah, if you're in academic affairs, our first meeting is this Sunday at 12. We're going to be doing our vice chair election. And we're also going to be going over what each of our academic policy priorities are. So if you're academic affairs, make sure to write down your calendar. Additionally, Representative Benny and I will be meeting with the MEC very soon. So if there's anything you would like us to discuss in that meeting, please feel free to reach out to either one of us about it. And then if anyone in academic affairs is interested in running for vice chair, please reach out to me.
All right. Financial affairs.
Hey everyone, our first committee meeting is tomorrow from like 5:30 to 6 in the SG office. It'll be super, super quick. I promise you. We're just gonna elect our vice chair. And then we're just gonna kind of discuss like a little bit about what our legislative priorities are. And I can kind of catch you guys up on what's happening with budget reform. Zach is already on the committee. He's the chair of that committee. So if you want to know what's going on there, just like Slack him. Just want to keep y'all in the loop about that for the sake of transparency.
Governmental affairs.
Hello, everyone. So our meetings will be on Sundays at 5:30, location to be determined. They can either union or the SG office, just depending on availability. Our first legislative priority is going to be voting. So I've already had the pleasure of meeting with the major voting boards of University Democrats at the Vote and Texas Rising. We've had a lot of really great discussions of what we can do to increase voting. Hopefully you all know the voter registration deadline for these coming runoff is for the props, constitutional amendments and Austin City props to decriminalize marijuana and ban unborn is coming up. So we will be out there, all of these orgs will be out there on Thursday. Some of us, University Democrats will be there till midnight to register people to vote. Jorlene can register people right now if you need to. So that's our first priority.
I can register too.
Yes, a lot of us can register. Yes, I can register. All our GDRs, and then as always, even if you are not in governmental affairs has so much potential to be incredible committee. So please reach out to me if you have any interest in any legislation that's governmental affairs related. Thank you.
All right, student affairs.
Hey everyone, I'd first like to congratulate our newly appointed reps. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate our newly appointed vice chair of student affairs, Representative Bailey. Really looking forward to working closely with you. Our official day and time for a recurring committee meeting is to be determined since there's some conflict in having like all the members available at a certain time. So if you haven't already, please update your availability on our when to meet if you haven't already. Our committee has also recently shown interest in working on improving CMHC and providing industrial products in all buildings. More details about this will be coming soon. And if you don't know already, Representative Tristan and Representative Cedric and I have been in the DEI caucus. So if you're interested, please scan the QR code or just talk to me if you find me. But we recently set up a when to meet for our recurring meetings, so please fill it out by tomorrow if you haven't already.
All right. Okay, so first off, I just want to talk about the meeting. It was incredibly hot today. I live in West Campus. So my first class is in LBJ. So I had to walk all the way there in the morning and it was like humid. You could actually see the humidity in the air. It was horrible.
It was really bad.
It was bad.
It was
yeah. No, I was not. No. All right, so some good news. The ISO Texas referendum that we passed last year was approved. We're still waiting on a formal written agreement, but it has been tentatively approved by the Dean of Students Office and Legal Counsel. The date that we're kind of centering around is April 29th. An education campaign will be conducted by UTSG, the student government, as well as I'm sure Senate will be wanting to get involved in this in some way, so we'll reach out to them as well. We will most likely create a committee similar to the Senate ad hoc ISO Texas committee that will take place here, that will run the education campaign on our end. As far as the Transform SG initiative, everything seems like it's going good. All the committee chairs have started their meetings or have met already. I'm hearing really good things, so I'm thankful for all the hard work that y'all are doing and ultimately achieving our goal of passing this by the 6th or by the 26th. Vacancies, there are still some vacancies. The College of Engineering has 2 more reps that we're still working on getting them for next week, so we'll likely confirm those next week. But Natural Sciences, I think, has 3 vacancies, and there's a bunch of colleges, info science, nursing, medical something, also have, yeah, sorry, have vacancies. So if you know anyone having those majors that have interest in SG or think would be a good fit for that, encourage them to talk to the council or talk to me to get them in touch with their council about that. Next up, follow us on social media. We finally have our assembly social media page. It's not as big as the current, but as big as the UTSG, and we have access to it. So please follow it at the UTSG Assembly on Twitter and Instagram. Please do that. Yeah.
We'll be doing joint posts too, so it'll be really cool.
Yeah. And we do follow back. So follow, we will follow you.
Follow for follow.
Yes. Yeah, they never did. Yeah, I agree. All right, and then very lastly, with any with upcoming events for me. So Leland, Isabel, and I have a meeting with Dean Lindley on the 18th. So we'll be talking about a multitude of things, I'm sure. And then we have a meeting with Zohib Kadri, the candidate running for City Council in District 9, our district, as well as Rep. Kina Joseph, to talk about unionizing efforts with Starbucks. So that's all on my docket right now, and I'm hoping for some good things. Oh, very lastly, I did reach out to get some speakers for us as far as like Kathy Tovo, City Council, Representative Pina Joseph, Lloyd Doggett. We're still working on that, but hopefully we can get one of them before we break off for summer. If not, we'll have them in the fall. And that's all I got, unless anyone has questions. Oh, all right. So this is just some mental health resources if you need them. Please utilize them. And any announcements? Representative Holden.
Just real quick, shout out to Red Wires for taking pictures. Yeah.
Any other announcements? Representative Mosley.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone in this room for such a robust debate tonight. That was just wonderful. I'm really glad that we're in an environment where we can really consider other perspectives and we talk things through. And I think that through talking things through, we made this resolution better. You know, I sort of just wanted to present a different perspective, and I'm glad that together we could really make this legislation better and really hear each other out. So thank you very much.
All right. Any other announcements? Representative Hollaback.
Howdy, everyone. Representative Hollaback here, and I'm currently, me and the rest of the Governmental Affairs Committee are working on a resolution that encourages early voting on campus. So if you have any great ideas on how we can encourage early voting, reach out to me on Slack. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Representative Whittington.
As you all heard, we all need that little point for engaging with different organizations. So I strongly recommend you all come to Diversity and Donuts and Robert L. Pat, Mr. Voting Next Door. You can't do that this, at 5 p.m.
Adrian, I'm going just for you.
What?
I'm going just for you.
Thank you. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., 0.128. Thank you.
All right. Any other announcements? All right. Moving forward. All right, second roll call. Please fill this out.
Have you seen My Fair Lady?
Don't forget to join the social blog. Please.
And again, follow us at UTSG at Assembly.
Kevin, quick question. What's happening with the communications committee or the cops committee?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So we're going to probably, I assume in the bill that we're working in the Transformation Initiative, we're going to be creating a committee, a communications committee for Assembly, and they'll be the one in charge of overseeing our social media page.
Okay, so it's not going to be like the budget reform committee. It's
It will be an operational committee, so it won't be ad hoc. So it will. I'll have to write a bill to create it. Okay. Any objections to closing the attendance forum? We're good? All right. Yep. The speaker will entertain, recommend a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Any objections? We're adjourned. Y'all have a great night.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe out there.
If you're a new representative, stay behind real quick. I do need to get you onto our Slack. If you're a new representative, stay behind. I just need to get you onto our Slack.
Have a great night.
Oh, yes.
Kevin, you did good at the second half, but in the beginning half, you were like a little, were you okay? Were you tired? You should project it more.
Oh, that's still tall.
Okay, all right.
Is this better?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just have it closer.
Did you have any problems?